Good morning,
Good
Sisters
morning.
Squared, coming at you from the park. I'm Kristen,
I'm Grace.
and I think our topic we landed on today was being discerning with where we put our energy. And I feel like we're not super high energy today.
No.
So this is us just being in the park and enjoying the scenery, but not, well, just throwing our energy around, I guess.
No. Keeping it tight.
Yeah. Well, we had talked about, being discerning about where we put our energy lately because it's such a hot commodity, right? We need it. Our families need it to some degree. And we can't put out every dumpster fire that comes our way, especially if we're not asked. Like, that is a big thing.
Oh, yeah.
I've always been like, oh, I know how to fix that. Like, I can tell you all the steps. Let me help you. Hello, ego. Let me fix it for you. So, yeah, that being said, we can all think of scenarios where we've gone in after people and tried to save them and put out their fire and potentially robbed them of the opportunity to figure out how to tame some of the flames on their own. I know we've both had numerous occasions.
I've had so many opportunities to learn this lesson. Mostly at my time with my previous job, and being in the role that I was in as the associate director. You hear the word director there? I thought I had to direct everything. Two things. Chris mentioned the ego, and that certainly was something. And I was in that ego phase where I did think I knew a lot of things, and because I'd had so many experiences and gone through so many different things, and I felt like I knew what I was talking about, which wasn't wrong, right? But that wasn't that person's experience. And then part two of that, and we just talked about this, is that, by me trying to jump in and take care of it and sort of be the director of all that, I was taking their chance to solve it away, almost like I was thinking they weren't capable of solving it. And maybe they would solve it differently than I would, and I would think that was wrong. But it's, of course it wasn't. And I had to learn that lesson a few times over. That one, I had to get my hand slapped several times. My ear's ringing right now. It's like, whoa. But yeah, that one was a tough lesson for me to learn. And I've said this from way back when. This was something I heard early on in my sobriety, and it really kind of stuck with me. And it did definitely apply to me, is that I was an egomaniac with an inferiority complex. And that so fit me so well. I felt like I had to be the smartest person in the room, which, that's so subjective.
And I think there's something to be said for the people who only come to you when their life is on fire. Do they think of you only when their life is on fire, thinking that you're the only one that can help, or that you have to drop everything, like you're somehow responsible? Like, are they the same? Do they check on you every so often? Or when they're somewhere? I'm not saying people have to buy me things, but if you think of something or you run across something and you send me a picture of it and say, this reminded me of you. And even if it's funny, or, like one of my own situations where I'm like, oh man, this happened. And I was like, that really smarted. Throw it at me again. See if I can handle it better the second time around. But the fact that you're thinking of me at other times beside the time that your life is on fire. Like, if you want me to just always come running to your fire, I don't know that I can do that.
Well, don't you think it takes away from their joy in a way, because you're like, because you're taking away when they figure it out, the satisfaction of that, and it kind of steals your joy. I don't want to do that to someone. Once I kind of started thinking about it in that way, that helped me to not do that anymore. Because watching somebody, and although the struggle is sometimes very difficult, it happens in my own house. It's hard to watch, but I have to do it. I have to do it. I have to let them figure it out. Now, if they ask me for help, I am very cautious about the help that I give now, because I don't want to do that. I don't want to steal their joy of figuring it out. If I see that they're going under, then that's a little different, and they're like, I need your help.
Put a
and I can do a little. That's right. I can do a little, but that's been so much growth on my part. I think,
and never to discount the idea of planting a seed, right? Like, it's not up to us whether they water it. Right. We plant it and allow them to nurture it if they choose.
True.
And we can't be connected to the outcome. So, you might be going through something, and I might be able to say, have you read this book? It's so good. Or have you listened to this podcast? I think you might get a lot out of it. Or look into, I think this person has wise things to say, or, just pushing somebody off isn't always the right way to handle things, but, empowering other people to solve their own problems there's a lot to be said for that. And I've had the opportunity to try to give people that boost to solve their own problems. Whether they choose to do it or not, it's not up to me. And that is something that I've had to learn over and over again.
I think I think one of the things that just actually came to mind was, what are people looking for, and can they tell you? Like, if they're looking for you to just be a sounding board, to just bounce an idea off of, great. If they're looking for you to just be like somebody to vent to and be like, listen, I'm not looking for you to solve this. I just need you to let me talk and just talk it out, kind of the whole sounding board idea. Or, you know what, I'm looking for you to give me some suggestions, I have an example, and my pastor knew of somebody who was struggling with alcohol, and she said, can I send her to you to talk to you? And I said, yes, of course. I would love to talk to her. And she never did. And, so all you can do really is just kind of give people the resources and, like Chris said, plant the seed, and then kind of let them go. I mean, she can't make her call me. No. And I wasn't going to call her. No. She had my number, and if she wanted to, she could call me. But she didn't. And she may, but she might. She has to figure that out for herself. Maybe she wasn't ready.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I just feel like right now everybody's going through some of their own stuff, and taking space for yourself and reeling in your energy is definitely important right now, because I think there's going to be a lot of people kind of muddling through and trying to figure out what approach they're supposed to be taking, or there's a lot of people who are trying to figure out the path that they're supposed to be on, like, what is my sole purpose? And I think that maybe that's not the question we should be asking, is what brings you joy?
Yeah.
What brings you joy? Like sitting out here on this beautiful day with my sister, that brings me joy. Getting to watch the birds and appreciate the scenery, that brings me joy. You know, so maybe it is part of my soul purpose, you know, to be able to sit in the park and make a video for our friends and remind them that their energy is valuable. Every one of you has great value. Not the Walmart brand. I mean, in general, great value. We're brought here at this time to make progress on that path. And you do have spiritual connections. Like, you do have a community that you can go to. But I know that most of you all have friends too with a give and take. And, you know, I think that we can't just always give the answers. I think we have to allow people to come to the answer on their own in many occasions. If someone's willing to put the work in and says, you know what, I have big stuff that I'm working through and I need you to help me pull out that core. And I am like, hell yeah, let's get to it. You got work to do. I will coach you to that place and we'll make an appointment and get you on my table and do energy work. And I will help you pull those strings in private and really help you dig into your vulnerability to see what's at the bottom of it. But me just giving you a Band-Aid to put on it is not helping.
Right.
And me just, you know, throwing answers at you is not helping. Like, where does that stem from? That same dumpster fire that you light once a week, what's at the bottom of it? Like, if you really want help, you're going to go head first into the dumpster. It's different than putting out a fire, because that fire still has smoldering coals underneath it. What are you going to do with that? Right? So, and if you have the same person starting that dumpster fire week after week, at what point do you say, I think you have deeper work to do? I think you have deeper work to do.
Yeah, that's all distraction.
Yeah. What do we fill the holes with?
Yeah. Even just, we were talking about this before too. It's so subtle sometimes in the ways that we try to solve people's problems. Because I noticed myself, I was in a coaching situation and the person was searching around for a word that they were trying to use. And it was on the tip of my tongue. I wanted to say it so bad, but it's not my word. It's their word. And maybe I would say things differently or use different words than they would. So it's even as small and as simple as that, you know, where I don't want to hijack their stuff, you know. I don't want to, like, take that away from them.
Tarnish the experience.
Yeah, but like Chris said, if you came to me with a situation and you needed help, energy work help or anything like that, or coaching, sure, you know, we can work together. Because sometimes, like Kristen said, you have to get some of those layers off before you start getting into the root of it and just really digging in. And it's tough. It's like there's a lot of noise, you know. It seems there's just a lot of noise, and you think that's what it is, but that's not what it is. You have to get rid of the noise and get through all the layers of garbage to get to really what's at the heart of it.
Yeah.
And then you get through that, and it's bliss. It's just absolute
And then
bliss.
you find another layer.
And then you find, then you pick out another thing and another thing. And
anybody who's done work
the healing
knows that it is an onion.
Yeah.
You know, it
So
really
many
is an
layers.
onion. And, you know, what you think is at the base of it, it might be. But it might have multiple faces, because at that base is this thing of not being heard, we'll call it. We'll just say that as an example. I've never been heard my whole life. I haven't been heard or seen.
Yep.
So then in all the different relationships in your life, you can kind of see the spiral of the people that you chose to surround yourself with, they didn't hear you or see you either. So now you're picking at that whole outer ring, you know, so you're just digging through those relationships at surface level. Now you're going to go deeper, and there's a lot more to it, just like an onion. So you're really unwrapping your authentic self. Because underneath all that, we are huge energetic beings with extreme value. We won't call it great value anytime, not to knock Walmart, but we have such tremendous value. We are divine. Like, what could be better? But take some shit off. Take some shit off. Find that divinity. And then
take your power back.
Yes.
Take your power back.
We are such powerful beings. And the thing is, as a community of people who are doing the work, we're learning that together, and we're uncovering that together. And if you've come to any of the groups that I've hosted or that we've hosted, we really work to build each other up. I mean, it's not hard. I can look at you and be like, oh my God, like, she's so good at this. Like, I know what you're good at just by talking to you or feeling your energy. Like, you don't know what you're good at. I do. I can see you. I see the real you. But until you do, I can't help you. Like, I mean, I can help you uncover it, but you are the one that has to see it so that you can step into your power, and then you can do the same thing for other people. And in all honesty, when we talked about what is my soul purpose, that's kind of it. For everybody, that is your soul purpose, to help people see their own divinity with love and compassion. So, I don't know. I think love is kind of all there is.
I agree. I'm looking at my bumper sticker that says love heals.
Love does heal.
I was like, oh yeah.
Love does heal. But that doesn't mean that you have to run into every burning building just because you saw it.
No. You might not be the best person for it.
Right. Your own life might be on fire. And now you just depleted yourself and took away that little bit of energy you needed to make yourself dinner that night. So what,
true.
you have to go without nourishment because you just gave your whole soul to somebody on the street or somebody, you know, that had their own fire?
It's sometimes
Be
so
discerning.
much easier too to look at other people's stuff when you don't want to look at your own.
Yeah. But then do you fall into self-pity because you went without dinner?
That's true.
Just because you were helping somebody?
Yeah.
And then there's the other part of being the martyr and go, I did this for you. And I didn't get dinner that night. I did this for you.
Yeah.
You owe me. Oh,
that's no good.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Ooh. Martyrdom. There's nothing good about that, guys. Nothing good can come from that.
There's so many layers to this topic.
Yeah.
And I get excited because I'm like, ooh, there's another one.
Yeah.
Ooh, there's another one. Been there, done that.
Well, that's where this is coming from. We're not, like, we don't know everything for sure, but boy, have we gone through some stuff. But, you know, and still continue to, because there's always more. There's always more.
But wait,
there's more, yeah. You know, but it's the getting through. It's, you know, it's like, it doesn't always feel good either while you're going through it. It just feels so icky and heavy and like, oh my God, this is never going to end. And then you get to the other side and you're like, oh, look at that.
Hey, look, the sun's out over here.
Hey, go me. Yeah. And it's just such a beautiful feeling. It's just so great. The healing stuff it is not easy, but boy, is it worth it.
It sure is. So
Yeah.
I would encourage everybody to take a look at where you have energy leaking out of. Do you need to fill your own cup first today? Pull your energy back. Focus on you. Nobody's going to tell you you're doing it wrong.
No.
And if they are, send them to me.
Yeah, or me.
Yeah, we'll take care of
This
your
is what
bullies.
we do.
Your energetic bullies.
That's right.
The thing is, I'm still learning how to take care of my energetic bullies.
Same, girl.
The people who, you know, think that just because they're in your life or you're in their life, that they deserve whatever you have left. And that is truly not the case.
No.
We are allowed to say no, and we are allowed to be discerning with our own energy.
No, period.
No is a full sentence. No, I do
No
like.
way, no how.
The thing is, I do like to give people more than just no.
Yeah.
I like to give people this, not the scenario, but I like to give people the idea of, well, it's not because you don't matter to me, because you do. But you know what? I am not physically, mentally, emotionally in the place to fill your cup, because mine is not entirely full either. So I might rob you of the experience of solving your own problem, relying on yourself. You know, I can't fix it for you. She can't fix it for you.
No.
But also, I may not give you my undivided attention.
True.
If I'm not in the right place, what are you getting?
Get crumbs.
Yeah. Soggy.
Cookie crumbs. Stale cookie crumbs.
Stale crackers. Who wants them?
Yeah.
But I think that this is a valuable topic right now.
I do too.
Because there's a lot of people asking things of us that we're just not in a place to give all the time. So assess your energy before you make a commitment. Assess your energy before you return that phone call.
Yeah.
You don't have to answer every call that comes through.
And you can say, let me get back to you on that.
Yeah. So I think today's a good day to reassess, don't you?
I do. I totally agree. And if you want to, once this video is posted, if you want to comment or ask questions or share your own experiences about this, we would love to see it.
We love feedback.
Love it.
Because that's what helps us grow too. If you think we're wrong, by all means, if you have another view, let's hear it. We are not one-sided. We are not. And I am willing to change my perspective if I see value in another. And that's the beauty of being human, is that you can change directions when you find something that resonates more solidly with who you are and where you're at now. I think that's tremendous growth, don't you? Like, I love that.
I do too.
I love that for a lot of people, and I have changed my perspectives throughout this entire journey.
Yep.
So, we're sending you much love and many blessings. Have a wonderful Tuesday.
Bye, everybody.